Let's wait until the bells stop to start this video. They're still going. Okay, I'm just gonna start because who knows how long they'll go for. But welcome to this video. I'm Lauren, and today I'm going to be kind of doing a bit of a blended video. It's going to have neurographic art in the first part, and then it is going to have an art journal page in the second part. And the theme today is all about the ocean. The ocean is, I don't know, it's calling to me these days, I think, because the weather is getting so much nicer, and just the thought of being like in water and swimming, and oh man, I wish. But I am quite far from the ocean. It is always in my head lately, and it's World Oceans Day on the 8th of June. So that is kind of a really important day because it does highlight the importance of the ocean and of taking care of all of the creatures, the wonderful array of creatures that live in the ocean. The ocean does make up a large portion of our world. There are some problems because there's a lot of plastic that is ending up in the oceans, and as well as other destructive things that kind of, it's terrible because this stuff is really harmful to the creatures in the ocean. So the theme of this year's World Oceans Day is revitalization through collective action, and that just means kind of everybody doing a little part. If everybody just does a little part, it's starting to rain now. Water, wonderful water. If everyone does just a little part of, recycling your plastics, kind of as much as possible, reusing plastics, trying to always make sure that these things do not end up in the ocean, because once they're in the ocean, it's, the ocean spreads out, and it's honestly like really hard to clean up that stuff once it gets into the ocean. So recycling and just everybody doing their part to kind of take care of the ocean is really helpful. It's raining. It's literally raining right now, but the sun is shining, and this is like the beauty of the world. It's wow. Okay. I'm grateful for water. It's truly a blessing in life, and so anyway, let's get into this video. First part, I'll be showing kind of how to create neurographic art that looks like water. I've done a lot of videos like that about neurographic art in the past. It's a really useful and helpful art technique, style that is great to take part in if you're looking for a way to kind of get things that are like out of your brain onto the paper. And it's a very relaxing and like sort of mindful art practice, maybe is a better word, an art practice. So in the first part, I'm going to show how to create this neurographic art that looks like water, because I'm really interested in exploring different ways of doing all kinds of art. I'm interested in all art styles. So this is one kind of different way of doing neurographic art that maybe you would like to try out. So I'll show you how to create that, and then the second part will be all about creating an art journal page with the neurographic art in the background that is inspired by the ocean. So yeah, let's get into this video. If you like it, please do give a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'm really grateful for everyone who's watching my videos. Thank you for being here. Please do leave a comment and let me know, if you've tried neurographic art before, what is your favorite art style, what kind of art do you do, what art materials do you use, just any sharing of, anything about your art journey or anything. I would love to know. So please do leave a comment, and yeah, let's get into this video. So to start, I'm creating a kind of ocean colors background using blues and greens and aqua, and just filling my entire page, blending all these colors together. For this, I'm right now using a combination of acrylic and gouache paints, but you could use like colored pencils or markers, like just creating kind of a background for the beginning part. Now I'm taking white paint, you could also use any other white material, and creating very wavy lines in the style of water that are going across the page from one side to the other, and just making sure to have enough paint on my brush when I do that. And then I'm doing the same thing, going the opposite direction, wavy lines one side of the page to the other. When that is complete, I'm taking a slightly smaller brush and I go back to my white paint and I start on the Neurographic Art technique, which is to create the rounded corners. Everywhere that there is a possibility of rounding a corner, I am doing that with the white paint. At this point, you can start to see kind of the idea of water, how when the water flows over, it creates these white kind of spaces, and the bubbles kind of collect. So that's what the white is kind of giving the impression of. Now I'm taking a thin paintbrush and some gray paint and creating wavy lines across the page underneath the white paint. You could also start with this as your first step, but I kind of like to do it now because I can just follow the patterns that I've already created with the white paint. And this is the shadow that is underneath the waves kind of going at the top. So I create the lines going across the page until that is all across my entire page. Then what you want to do is repeat your neurographic art technique, which is to create rounded corners on all of the gray parts that you have created. So this is kind of that mindful neurographic art practice in motion. And now I am taking some white paint and creating some little bubbles here and there, just sort of randomly across the page. And I'm also going to take the white paint and create little lines of white that come off of my original white. This is kind of just emphasizing how the water and the bubbles kind of spread out. So you can do these shapes and patterns just any way you choose across the page. The last kind of parts of the project is to create just some little more details of blues and greens and color in the piece. So I'm taking a blue paint brush and just kind of creating these little lines following the same pattern. It's like another kind of shadow even further down under the water. So I'm doing this with a dark blue and just sort of not thinking too much about it, just kind of creating these lines here and there across the page. I then also am taking some pencils now that everything's dry, and coloring in, just adding some little green hues, because water quite often, and especially ocean water, sometimes has these really beautiful shades of green and blue and turquoise. So I just wanted to add a little bit more of that into my picture. And yeah, this is pretty much where we are. And the last point is I just wanted to take this white Posca marker and just emphasize some of the bubbles, because when I did them with the paint, they weren't super clear. So I'm just going over a couple of those bubbles. And I love white Posca marker pens. They are useful for so many projects. So definitely recommend white Posca markers, and any kind of Posca markers in general. They're a great art material. I'm also adding some dots here and there, just some extra bubbles. And yeah, this is pretty much where we're at. This is how I create water style neurographic art, and I'm going to be using this as a background. So let's get into that part. So it's literally like a few minutes later and it just started like pouring. So I like scrambled to get all of my, like, because I brought out all my art stuff to do like these pages outside, but nope, it's not gonna happen today. So it looks like it's kind of set in. I didn't think it would rain today, but it's, yeah, it's just come out of nowhere. So that's life. Change of plans. I'm gonna head inside and get going on these art journal pages. Okay, so I'm settled inside now. It's actually sunny again. But I've moved everything inside, so I think I'm just gonna stay here. And right now I have my Neurographic Art background, which is in the style of the ocean. So you just saw how to make this if you're interested in creating something like this. And then now I have some pieces of paper that are kind of in ocean colors, and I'm creating some letters. My thoughts are to create the word ocean on these. So I've got O, C, and I'll do the others on these little papers, and then cut it out and have like a border of this paper behind it. So that's kind of the plan right now, what I'm working on. And yeah, I'll show you in a few minutes. Got those letters written, and I did like a little green border with Posca marker. And this is probably something that you all already know, but in case anyone doesn't know this thing, maybe it's helpful. Whenever you are cutting out letters like this and you only have a pair of scissors, I remember learning this as a kid, and it's kind of been pretty helpful like throughout my life. So you want to just like kind of fold your letter, but not press it, because you don't want to like have the line there. And then you take your scissors and you just do a little snip like that. Yep, there we go. And then open it up and you have that cut there, and then you can like stick your scissors through and cut out the inside of your letter. You still have to be kind of careful, but it works. If you don't have like a cutting knife or things like that, if you only have scissors. I don't really use cutting knives that often, but yeah, this is just like an easy, quick way of doing it. So voila, we have an O. So I cut out the word ocean, that's finished, and now I'm going to use the scrap pieces of paper, because you know I want to use everything, I don't want to waste anything. Use these scrap pieces of paper to write the letters life, L-I-F-E, so it'll be like ocean life will be the text for this art journal page. So yeah, I think There's definitely an L somewhere in this. I think, yeah, or that way. There's an I over there. E. Maybe the E will have to be from this bit over here, but yeah, I think it's doable. Okay, so I finished all the letters. They kind of look like this. And now I think I will stick them down in this arrangement. And then my plan is to create some little colourful fishies and things to go all around the edge of the paper. So yeah, let's get gluing. I'm thinking to use this Posca marker just underneath the letters to kind of like really get them to emphasize a little bit more against the background. But yeah, I like kind of the relaxing blues and greens. I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, let's try this. I don't know. Okay. Let's see. I don't know. Oh well, trial and error. If it doesn't really make too much of a difference, but I'll just keep going with it, I think. Ooh. Oh goodness. Okay, yeah, maybe when it's all done, it'll work. I don't know. So that is the finished outlining. I think it does kind of make a difference. It just sort of helps emphasize those letters like a little bit more against the background. Okay, so it has been actually what happened is, long story short, I'll try to just explain what happened in a few, and why I'm in different clothes and stuff. So my camera battery died, so I had to put it on to charge. Then I decided while the camera was charging that I would take a canvas and some paints and just go outside and do a different art project that I have in the works. So that was my plan. So I went outside to do that, and I was sitting outside for about 5 minutes, and then it started raining again, like literally again. This was like the third time raining. Like, it was sunny and then raining. It was like really, really crazy. So I had to run inside, and then I decided, because it was raining, I was like, well, I can't do the canvas project that I had planned, so I'm gonna bake some cookies. So I ended up baking these cookies, and the camera was still charging, so I was just kind of like letting that happen. And then the day got on, and it was already like 5 p.m. and I ate about 5 of these cookies that I made. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I need to go for a walk, because there's like quite a bit of sugar in these cookies. So I go for a walk, and the clouds are like, it's okay in the sky, it's not too bad, like didn't look like it was gonna storm or anything. So I'm going on this walk, really nice, getting some exercise. And then I get into the forest, and literally like when I'm in the forest, it starts pouring. Like the sky just opened up, thunder and lightning as well. It was terrifying. I saw a deer dart past me at one point. Yeah, anyway, so that was like quite an adventure. And then I ended up like, I was like, you know, it's like one of those situations where you just don't know what to do. So I decided to just like make a dash for it and just run home. Like, it was pouring rain, there was lightning, I don't know, I just ran for like, and anyway, made it home completely soaked, like dripping all water everywhere. So anyway, that was that day, and now it is the next day because yesterday I just didn't get back to the project because a lot of things happened, and yeah, anyway. So now I'm going to start. I've finished with sticking the letters on, and it's got the outline, and that's how it looks. And now I'm going to start creating some little sea creatures to decorate the rest of this page with. Just finished with kind of like what I wanted to do. Is my thought is just paint the basic shapes of you know, like a seahorse and little fishies, a starfish, some bubbles, and then my next plan is to use Posca markers once this is dry and do like all cool little details onto these ocean creatures. So that's gonna dry for a bit. I think that I might paint a couple more things. I don't think I need that many more, but I've still got some colors here, so I want to use those. So I think I'm just going to like blend these colors together like this, and then later on I will maybe just draw and cut some shapes out of these, because I think it looks kind of cool with the colors blended like this. Ooh, pretty. So I'm just gonna let everything dry for a bit, and then I will continue. So I'm currently at this point. I decided that this would probably not be enough space to fill everything that I've drawn, all the little creatures, and then also I want to draw some on here. So I have decided to make another page across from it. So I painted that with some blue and some light green, kind of blended those colors together. So it's going to be a double page art journal spread. I finally managed to get outside to do these drawings and started creating the little pictures of more fishes and little sea creatures, and I was joined by the little cat who lives outside. She just is always so cuddly, so anytime I'm outside she always wants to sit with me, sometimes on top of the artwork, but she's just really friendly and just loves a cuddle. So yeah. Once I did the outlines of all the sea creatures, I then took the Posca markers and added little color details on top of the paint, and I used a fine liner to draw eyes onto the little sea creatures. Last step was to just, once I'd finished drawing everything, was to cut all of the little shapes out, and I decided to leave a little bit of a white border around each shape. This is how they look. I think they're all pretty cute. Some bubbles and little fish. So now I'm just gonna, I'm a seahorse I really love. So I'm gonna play around with arrangements and kind of see how that goes. So that brings us to the end of today's video. This is what the final page looks like. This is the ocean life side. Yeah, I love it. And this is the other side too. So the completed pages, ocean life. I really hope that you found the Neurographic Art tutorial of how to paint neurographic art that's in the style of water helpful, and I hope you enjoyed also seeing the process of making these art journal pages, all inspired by World Oceans Day, which is really important. And remember to always recycle your plastics, and if everyone does their little part in just helping, you know, create a world that is a home for all of a safe home for all of the creatures that live on our world and in our oceans. So thank you so much for joining me here today, and if you like this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you again soon for another video. Bye!